Jai Hind children, welcome in your history class. Today we are going to revise the last chapter, and that is the Great Uprising children. Because your test half-yearly exams are knocking at the door children, so let us have a revision of this chapter. Okay, you can see the topic chapter on the screen children, the Great Uprising. As you know that children, the British had established themselves as a supreme political power in India by the mid 19th century. So a large part of India was under direct British administration, and other areas were under indirect British control, as the rulers of these areas acknowledged British supremacy children, and the Mughal Empire existed only in name, as the Emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar had neither territory nor power. So nearly 100 years of British presence in India had made all sections of Indian society very unhappy. The rulers resisted the annexation of their territories. The noblemen were angered by the loss of their zamidaris, and the peasants hated the exploitative system of revenue collection. The tribal people feared a threat to their livelihood, and all the sections of the Indian society were very unhappy with the British rule. So there were protests before this 1857 also children, but these protests were localized and the British could suppress them very easily. So the biggest challenge to British authority came in 1857, and in this year the people of India rose up against them. So we are going to discuss the causes of the Great Uprising, causes behind the revolt of 1857. So economic cause. The main cause of the popular discontent was the British policy, because the policy of British was exploiting India economically, and it affected and this policy affected all sections of the society children. The peasants were suffering due to huge revenue demands by the Britishers children, and the British took away a large part of this produce, and the peasants and his family starved children, and even when crops failed they were forced to pay the land revenue children, and sometimes they have to borrow money from the money lenders. So peasants were very unhappy. Even artisans and craftsmen, they were also ruined by unfair competition children. In Britain, goods were manufactured on machines, so they were cheaper to produce. The Indian craftsmen made goods by hand children, and these cost more than machine made goods. So people preferred to buy these goods as they were much cheaper. So the traditional handicraft industry of India was ruined, and the old ruling classes, they were displaced by the British. So due to the withdrawal of the royal patronage, people who earned a living by following religious and cultural professions like priests, poets, musicians, they all lost their sources of livelihood. Then the political causes children. So the British, you can say that the British policy of annexing territories led to the displacement of the ruling class, and they had introduced many policies in order to annex more and more territories children. Subsidiary alliance, which was introduced by Lord Wellesley, which you have already studied in lesson 2 children. So the rulers who accepted the terms of the subsidiary alliance lost their independence, and the armies were disbanded, and they became dependent on the company for all their needs. Then Lord Dalhousie, he annexed Doctrine of Lapse children, and Jhansi, Satara, all these territories were annexed under this policy children. Then Awadh was also annexed by the Britishers on the pretext of maladministration, and though you know that the annexation was greatly resented, since the Nawabs of Awadh had always been loyal to the British, and Lord Dalhousie annexed Awadh in 1856. So subsidiary alliance, then Doctrine of Lapse, then maladministration, these were the policies which were introduced by the Britishers in order to annex more and more territories children. Then comes the social causes children. The British passed laws banning sati and legalizing widow remarriage. women were encouraged to take a Western education. Some sections of Indian society looked at these measures with suspicion, शक की निगाह से देख रहे थे, and they interpreted them as examples of interference in the country's social customs. So the social discrimination faced by the people due to the British attitude of racial superiority also led to much resentment. Britishers, children, they always make us feel that they are white, so they are superior, and we Indians are black, so we are inferior. And all the high posts, all the high posts were given to the English people. Children. Now comes the religious causes. There was a fear among the people that the company wanted to convert all Indians to Christianity. The Christian missionaries were very active at this time, as many natives converted to Christianity, and these conversions were taken as a proof of this fear, children. And further, a law passed in 1850 allowed a Christian convert to inherit the ancestral property. So this lent further support to this mass fear. They believed that the religion was under threat, कि उनका धर्म जो है वो खतरे में है, and the belief that the religion was under threat united all sections of society against the British. Then comes the military causes, children. Indian Sipahis formed the bulk of the company's army in India, children, and they were also influenced by the fear that the religion was under threat. And besides, they had other grievances too, children. First, the Sipahis were paid much less than the British soldiers. Means an English Sipahi was getting much more salary in comparison to the an Indian Sipahi was getting less salary in comparison to the English soldier, children. And all the high posts in the army were reserved for the British. And there was no scope of promotion for an Indian Sipahi. And no Indian Sipahi could rise higher than a Subedar. And even the Sipahis were not allowed to wear caste and religious marks, children. So an act was passed that required the new recruits to travel overseas if needed, and there was a belief, Hindu belief, that travel across the sea led to the loss of caste. Then foreign service allowances or bhatta, which the Sipahis got when they were sent to fight outside the country, it was also discontinued. So the Sipahis were also unhappy with the British rule, children. Then comes the immediate cause. A new rifle has been introduced in the army, and it was called the Enfield rifle, children. So the cartridges of this rifle were covered with a greased paper wrapper, and the Sipahi had to bite off the greased wrapper before loading the cartridge into the rifle, children. And now the news spread that the grease was made from the fat of cows and pigs. As you know that Hindus consider the cow sacred, they neither kill it nor do they eat beef. And Muslims consider the pig dirty and do not eat pork. So the Enfield rifle, it became the immediate cause behind the revolt of 1857. Now the beginning of the uprising, children. So the first soldier to protest against the new cartridges was Mangal Pandey. He was a Sipahi in the 5th company of the 34th Native Infantry Regiment, which was stationed at Barakpur. On 29 March 1857, he fired at his British commander and asked the other Sipahis to join him to end the rule of the company. But he was arrested and hanged on 8th April. So, who was the first soldier to protest against the new cartridges? His name was Mangal Pandey, children. So the hanging of the Mangal Pandey caused great unrest in army camps across India. So on 24th April, 85 Sipahis of the 3rd Bengal Light Cavalry stationed at Meerut refused to use the cartridges. So on 10th May, they were publicly humiliated, dismissed from service and jailed, and this sparked of a mutiny among the Sipahis at Meerut. And on 10th May, these soldiers raised the banner of revolt. They killed the British officers and they released the imprisoned Sipahis, seized arms and humiliations, and set fire to British properties. So this was the beginning of the biggest armed resistance since the establishment of the Company Raj. Then the Sipahis then set off for Delhi, and after traveling all night, they reached Delhi the next morning. And here the Sipahis belonging to the regiment stationed at Delhi, they also joined the Sipahis, them children. Then the Sipahis then took control of Delhi, children, and they declared Bahadur Shah Zafar as the Emperor of India and their leader. So, from Meerut and Delhi, the uprising soon spread to other places in northern and central India. Particularly, it was strong in Kanpur, Lucknow, Jhansi, Bareilly, Gwalior, Faizabad, and Ara children. Then, in Lucknow, the residency was the scene of a major battle. On 31st May 1857, the Sipahis laid siege to the residency. The British soldiers inside the residency held on for more than 5 months. So on 23rd November, the residency fell into the hands of the Sipahis, and they held it until 16th March 1858, children. So the leaders, do you remember the names of the leaders, children? So the first Sipahis who refused to use the Enfield rifle was Mangal Pandey. And in Delhi, the Bakht Khan, he led the rebel Sipahis. Then in Kanpur, Nana Sahib, he proclaimed himself the Peshwa, and his troops were led by Tatya, Tope and Azimullah. Then in Lucknow, Begum Hazrat Mahal, she led the revolt, and she was assisted by Maulvi Ahmadullah Shah. And in Jhansi, Rani Lakshmibai challenged the British authority. In Bareilly, Khan Bahadur Khan led the rebels, and in Ara and other places in Bihar and Jharkhand, Kuwar Singh, he organized and led the revolt. So do remember the names of the leaders, children. But unfortunately, this uprising was suppressed by the Britishers, children. And the commanders such as Colin Campbell and Henry Havelock were particularly successful in suppressing the revolt, children. And the British used terror to prevent another such revolt. The rebels were tied to the mouth of cannons and blown off, children. And even innocent civilians they were mercilessly killed on a large scale. Now the question comes, why did the uprising fail? And the revolt of 1857 was the first big challenge in front of the British rule. But it failed due to many reasons. Number one, the revolt did not spread to all parts of the country, children, nor it was supported by all groups and all sections of society. And many Indian rulers, they refused to help the rebels. On the other hand, they were helping the Britishers in order to suppress them, children, to suppress the revolt. So this was the first reason. The second was the revolt was not organized properly. And the uprisings in different parts of the country were uncoordinated, means there was not proper coordination. And the rebels had no proper ideology or program. Then third, the leadership of the movement was very weak, and most of the leaders, chahe wo Jhansi ki Rani ho, Begum Hazrat Mahal ho, they were fighting, but most of the leaders, they fought to liberate their own territories only. वो सिर्फ अपनी territories के लिए लड़ रहे थे. So no national leader emerged to coordinate the movement and gave it a purpose and directions. Then last, the rebels were running short of weapons and finances. And on the other hand, the company's army had access to modern weaponry and unlimited funds, children. Now the nature of uprising, British historians refer to it as a Sipahi mutiny. Children, no doubt, the revolt did begin as a mutiny by the Sipahis, but it was soon supported by people from all sections of society. Peasants, artisans, and the common people, they also joined the rebels, children. So it was not only a Sipahi mutiny, children, and the uprising was characterized by Hindu-Muslim unity. So people of both communities, they fought together. Unity among different regions also existed. Seeing the spread of the revolt and the participation of the common people, Indian historians have termed it as the first war of independence. अगर हम लोग सक्सेसफुल हो गए होते इस रिवॉल्ट में तो हम लोग को 90 years पहले ही आज़ादी मिल गई होती. Isn't it, children? Yes. Now, what was the effect? What were the consequences of this great uprising, children? After this uprising, British policies in India, it underwent major changes after 1858, and all these changes were made to strengthen their hold over India and prevent another countrywide uprising. The first change was in August 1858, the British Parliament passed an act by which the rule of the English East India Company in India came to an end. And this act transferred all administrative powers to the Crown, children. Now the British government accepted direct responsibility for ruling India. Then next, by the Act of 1858, a minister of the British cabinet was appointed to manage affairs in India, and he was called the Secretary of State. And he was to be assisted by an advisory body called the India Council, children. Then next, the Act of 1858 had also made changes in the functioning of the government in India. Now, the government of India would be headed by the Governor General. Since he was appointed by the Crown, he was given the title of Viceroy. मतलब Governor General की जगह पे वो title of Viceroy हो गई. And he was to be helped by an Executive Council and a Legislative Council, children. He would report to the Secretary of State in England. Then Queen Victoria assured the rulers of princely states that the government would not annex their territories, and sometimes they even suppressed the internal revolts to help the rulers stay in power. By stopping all annexations, withdrawing the doctrine of lapse, and rewarding titles and honors to the rulers, the government tried to make them allies. Then next, the Queen promised not to interfere in the social and religious beliefs and customs of the people. In the name of non-interference, actually, children, the government stopped supporting social reforms also. And the last one, the British began to follow the policy of divide and rule, because they knew it very well that they can prolong their rule in India if they are going to follow this policy, and that is divide and rule, children. So during the uprising, both Hindus and Muslims had fought together. The British disliked this unity, actually. They felt them to strengthen their rule, they needed to divide the two communities, children. They accused the Muslims of instigating the uprising and began discriminating against them. You can see the picture of Queen Victoria, children, on the screen. Some changes were also introduced in the army. The army was reorganized to prevent another revolt. And the ratio of European soldiers to Indian soldiers was raised. It was fixed at 1 to 2 in the Bengal army and 2 to 5 in the Bombay and Madras army. All strategic positions, means all important positions, were to be held by European troops. Important divisions such as the artillery were totally in the hands of European troops, and no Indian could become an officer. The concept of martial and non-martial races was also created, children. The Sikhs, Pathans and Gurkhas. They helped the British to suppress the uprising, so they were declared martial races, children. And people from these races began to be recruited in the army in large numbers. People who belonged to the regions where the revolt was strong, such as Awadh, Bihar and Central India, were declared non-martial, and they were kept out of the army, children. So you have seen that there were many causes: economic, political, social, religious and military causes were responsible for the revolt of 1857 and the Greece Carthage, and that was the Enfield rifle, isn't it, children? So the Greece Carthage incident was the immediate cause behind the revolt of 1857, and a large part of North India was affected by the revolt. Meerut, Delhi, Kanpur, Lucknow, Jhansi, Bareilly, Gwalior, Faizabad and Ara were the main centers of the revolt of 1857, children. And some important leaders were Bakht Khan, Nana Sahib, Tatya Tope, Azimullah, Begum Hazrat Mahal, Maulvi Ahmadullah Shah, Rani Lakshmi Bai, Khan Bahadur Khan and Kunwar Singh. The revolt failed to end British rule in India. The major reasons for its failure were it was localized. It did not cover or it did not spread in the entire country. So the revolt was localized and it was unorganized nature. Weak leadership, lack of weapons and finances, children. So these were the reasons why this revolt failed. And the revolt of 1857 began as a mutiny but soon became a popular revolt. Though the leadership of the revolt was with the Sipahis, the movement had the support of the common people, and many changes were introduced in India after suppressing this revolt, children. So many changes were introduced in India after the suppression of the revolt of 1857. And the rule of the English East India Company ended. The power to govern India was taken over by the British Parliament, the Secretary of State in England, and the Governor General, which was known as Viceroy after that, after the revolt of 1857 in India, became the two main centers of power. So first was the Secretary of State in England and the Viceroy in India became the two main centers of power. The army was reorganized and the concept of martial and non-martial races was introduced, children. And already I have given you exercises in your WhatsApp group. Do it, children. And you have to read the chapter. You have to solve this crossword also. This answer also I have given in your WhatsApp group. So you have to read the chapter thoroughly. And the questions will be coming in between the chapter. Okay. So stay home, stay safe and work hard so that you can get good marks in your test, children. Thank you and have a nice day, children. Take care.